Celebrity Book Club. Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend. Hi there. Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's really good to see you, buddy.
Great to be back in New York City and chilly chill. As I mentioned to you last night, I am experiencing culture shock on a physical and spiritual level from having to be away from Mexico, my adopted home, for the past 2 weeks. It's tough. It's really hard. And I am very, very slowly settling in. But thank you for all the warm and the well wishes. And
I found you just actually alone at a pizza place yesterday trying to order tacos. And they said, hey, this is New York freaking City.
Anyway, so here we are, back in the city, back in the drudgery, work, sex, meetings, doctor's office.
Oh, January, the Monday of the year.
Don't ask me to explain, but January has serious Monday energy.
Yeah, I'm Garfield and the world is Monday. Where's the lasagna?
So you're going to the doctors, you're doing laundry, you're renewing your gym membership, you're canceling credit cards, you're canceling Hulu, you're canceling Paramount Plus.
You know when you write 2021 on all your checks? What is that? No, I went for a jog today and dropped off my Joybird couch cushions to get dry cleaned for the first time ever.
Well, my jaw's on the floor about the jog.
No, jog and dry cleaning.
I'm picturing like Bill Clinton and Al Gore on their like one photo op jog in like 1992. And then it's just like you finding this one pair of like 80s shorts and spending like an hour and 45 minutes like putting on
Doing
this like workout outfit and then going on a 6-minute jog at extremely conversational pace and being like, all right, well, we did a block. I think we're good.
No, truly, my Grail goals are Googling Bill Clinton jog, and he's in some amazing outfits. And it's like him with so much like other 90s secret security. What are they called?
Secret Service. Secret Security.
That's a good show name. It was very me running a block, walking a block, running a block, walking a block.
So that's actually good. So what you're doing is actually called interval training. And that's really good if you want to build up really thick quad muscles really quickly. I don't know if that's a goal of yours. If you want massive meaty thighs really fast, that would be great for that.
I'm actually trying to make my thighs less meaty. I feel like that's where all my fat goes.
So the route to less meat actually involves more steady pacing.
Well, I will try that on my next jog because I will continue and persevere.
Yeah. Yes, you will, because that's what girls do.
I know. Someone said girls can't run, and I said, yes, they can. Yeah, and if you wonder why we're saying this phrase.
So this week we read a barn burner of a book.
It's banned at tons of libraries. And it's called Pinky Promises
by Senator Elizabeth Warren. Say her name.
Illustrated by Charlene Chua.
That's right. Women can write and illustrate books, despite what men think.
They can't do both, but they can do one of them.
They can do one or the other.
Okay, choose. No girl is that talented.
So basically, yeah, the moral of the story is it takes 2 women to write an 18-page children's book, which is what this is.
So much to say.
Yeah, we got a lot to really crack into here. This is, I would say, it is a stunning journey of narcissism coming from our female senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts,
From Cambridge, from Mass, rose up.
Well, she is actually from Oklahoma, as you know. She is Native American.
Right, she is Native American.
Grew up in Okie with her peepaw. I felt like she was constantly coming up with like a new...
She just always calls him daddy, which is so gross. Daddy was a janitor and daddy and kind of, she's actually the original Meghan McCain.
Yeah. Daddy this, daddy
that. But also for your mom, who's always like calling your dad daddy.
Well, yeah, I mean, she refers to her own husband as daddy, which is really
that's actually more
of like kind of a kink.
Rather than adult woman being like, right. But I feel like that's also folksyism of Elizabeth Warren, Lizzie, as I call her.
Yeah, Lizzie Debs.
To be like, daddy worked so hard for us to have like food on the stove.
Food on the stove. I know, she acts like she grows up in like the most, what's that book that like every girl loves? It's about like the prairie. Is Little House on the Prairie? Is that what I'm thinking?
Little House on the Prairie is very my sister. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie.
Like every horse girl loves Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it's like a poor American Girl doll.
Yeah. And I feel like Liz Warren is so Little House on the Prairie and like really acting like she grew up in the 30s. And it's like, bitch, you're not that old.
But, okay, so she is turned into what we really call kind of the mayor of the Cambridge mom.
Yeah. So she grew up in Oklahoma, and I mean, you guys all know who Elizabeth Warren is.
And join us on the Slack if you are part of the Patreon, if you don't know who Elizabeth Warren is, and I'll send you links. And
we'll put in a bunch of really good links to her Wikipedia and some other awesome articles from the Boston Globe if you want to get some background on our senatrice. So then she became like a Harvard professor, legal eagle, became really into bankruptcy law, which really kind of like gave her a sense of, I think, injustice and economic injustice and really informed her political aspirations. Then, of course, she was put forward to be the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau by, at the time, President Barack Obama. And the Republicans torpedoed her nomination because they thought she was too anti-bank and they were afraid of her. Well, joke was on them because it actually made her really famous. And then she was able to run for senator and defeat, I want to say, Scott Brown in 2012.
Scott Brown, who is this hot senator from Massachusetts, who like had a Cosmo like pull-out profile where he was like shirtless.
He's like the hottest senator that anyone's ever had. And he beat Martha Coakley in 2010. Who went to law school with my mother.
Hello.
Wow.
Were they friends?
Martha and my mother?
Yeah.
I want to say hard no, but like she definitely would be like, oh, well, I mean, we attended some classes together. I wouldn't say we were friends, but we were peers. And she was on the law review while I was in the women's bar. So, she would be very just like listing both of their resumes for 10 minutes if you asked her. But yeah, I don't think they knew each other.
If I may use this moment to brag about my father knowing a politician at college.
Oh, please, go right ahead.
So my father did go to Yale Medical School, full paid scholarship. Hello.
Wait, is this the Cesar Chavez
yeah.
story? Yes! Oh my God, I love this story.
So he's at the movie theater, which is so crazy to think about, like, your parents. Like, before you have them, they're just, like, grabbing a flick, and he's there with his friends.
No. It's like when you see parents outside of school, and it's like, awkward sauce!
Right. And picture this, it's the 70s, and someone starts choking. A woman starts choking.
Because women can choke.
A woman can choke. And someone goes, is there a doctor in here? Is there a doctor in here? And his friends are like, Charlie, you're a doctor. He raises his hand. He's like, I'm a doctor. And he goes over and he gives a woman the Heimlich maneuver and saves her life. Who is that woman? Madame Hilary Clinton.
Gasp! No!
Yes. Wow. Saved Hilary Clinton's life at a New Haven movie theater. And yes, so she thanked him and she invited him to have tea with her and Bill.
Insanity.
Absolutely insane.
So they had like kind of just recently met and started dating because they met at Yale.
So they must have been like hot and heavy and were like, we should like have a couple. But that's already so like political to be like, I'm
inviting my rescuer over for tea.
Yeah, it already is so like Wounded Warriors.
Yeah, she's really being insanely wounded war. And so wait, and then at the tea, well, then there was the Chavez thing that happened at the tea, right? Oh, I guess like your dad, I feel like your dad told the story. He's like, and she was talking about Cesar Chavez or something. She was droning on and on about some political event that I didn't particularly care about. It was rather boring. She was...
Yeah, I know. It's like, you remember that better than I feel like it's like he is definitely very proud of the saving the life moment, but I feel like it's like the tea sounded a little bit boring.
Yeah, I think she just said that she was like rather kind of into herself and not asking personal questions and just going on about some political issue. And he was just like, darling, she was rather turgid.
Dull.
She
was dull.
She was dull. Your dad is Peggy Guggenheim.
He's right. So I saved her life, darling, because, well, I knew how to have the Heimlich. I learned it when I was 4. At the World's Fair.
Elizabeth Warren writes this book. Here's the most insane thing about this book. Okay, so this book is called Pinky Promises, and it's about how girls can do stuff.
But it's also about how everyone says girls can't do stuff.
Yeah, so it basically sets up this straw man, or shall we say straw woman argument, where it's just like the whole first half of the book is like all of these like male archetypes telling this young black girl what she can't do. So there's this like muscly guy with the tattoos who's like a plumber and a plunger. Oh no, sorry, it's her uncle.
Who, can I just say that her Uncle Ed in the illustration looks so trans guy. Like, it's like a redhead with all these kind of like twee tattoos.
This guy
like, it's like in a polo, thin mustache.
He's very, very 3 years on tea. Yeah.
And it's like the tattoos are like hearts, dolphins, flowers.
So Polly's the protagonist. Polly's trans Uncle Ed is fixing the sink, or apparently not fixing the sink because there's water flying everywhere, and he's holding a plunger to fix the sink, which is not really the tool that I would use.
Right, like, I don't know how to plumb, but like...
So here comes Polly with her glasses, because obviously she's like so STEM, and she's holding this like blueprint for the plumbing system and like Plumbing 101. And the book Plumbing 101 has all of these little like sticky notes in it. So she's clearly like done her homework. It's so Elizabeth Warren to be like, that's right, girls do homework. Because her entire constituency when she ran for president was just like girls who raise their hand and ask for more work. Like that's her demographic.
There are no, what is the phrase? There are no stupid questions. There are only like questions not asked. It's not the phrase. I feel like
that has to go on your girlfriend's list of Lilyisms. There are no stupid questions. There are only questions not asked. Yeah, no, that really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, no,
that could be in your children's
total catchphrase.
Book. Okay, so in walks Polly. And also Bailey, like Elizabeth Warren's famous dog that she like murdered or whatever, and like had replaced with like 7 decoy Baileys, comes up with a pipe, and it's like also they're helpful because like the dog believes in Polly's ability to plumb, but not her trans Uncle Ed.
This is the most like fucked up narcissistic part of this book, is that the whole trajectory of this book is that this girl like goes to see Elizabeth Warren speak and then gets inspired. Not to spoil the book.
I mean, that's the most fucked up narcissistic part of the book.
No, but then also owns Bailey. It's like, sorry, so you're going to see Elizabeth Warren, but you also own Bailey?
Well, I think also this comes back to her kind of Dolezal like race play, because it's a little black girl and like Elizabeth Warren.
Who owns Bailey, right?
Who
and
owns
it's like,
Bailey.
actually,
this is Elizabeth Warren thinking this is her, and it's just like, okay, well, you're Native American. No.
Right, and also proves that there's so many decoy Baileys.
Yes,
and
this book proves that there's 7 Baileys.
And Bailey is like the most like white suburban dog of all time, because it's like a blonde golden retriever.
Yeah.
Which like I think of as like so like,
no, it's fucking white supremacist.
Yeah, sorry, Bailey is a white supremacist. And in the illustrations of the book, there's all these references to when Bailey ate a burrito, and there's so many framed photos in rooms in this book of Bailey eating a burrito.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this book is just actual for psycho Warren fans. But okay, but also here's the thing about Warren moms is like, Warren moms love to just like buy random twee shit for their kids. Like Warren moms are the kind of clients you clean for who like have that TP in their playroom on the second floor of their Brooklyn Heights brownstone. They have the like pint-sized resistor onesie for their 3-month-old. They have like the Ruth Bader Ginsburg dolls. Because at one point in this book, there's an RBG painting on the wall of the girl's room.
And no. It's actually kind of, this book is a Where's Waldo. It's a Where's RBG. When the girl goes to a new school, there's in the cubbies, there's a little RBG doll, which doesn't add up because in this book, everyone's telling her that she can't do stuff, which wouldn't happen in the world where there's RBG
dolls everywhere.
It's like, again, pick one.
This gets back to the straw man argument of everyone. Okay, so then the next scene. So first, her trans uncle says you can't be a plumber. Then she has a school project where they have to like learn about bridges, I assume. So when she decided to build a drawbridge for her school project, her brother Jack said, "That's not what girls do." It's like, really? So the project for school is like build bridges, I assume. And he's just like,
she was assigned.
But she was literally assigned. It's just like, I'm sorry. When I went to school, which was like a fucking 100 years ago, we had a bridge project in middle school where we had to like make bridges. Didn't you do that too?
And I'll say I failed hard. So here's the thing: girls can't
Girls
build
actually
bridges.
can't build bridges. If
and
only
I
someone
remember
had just told you that.
I remember my partner was maybe your friend of the pod, Beryl.
Wait, you and Beryl did a bridge together?
And we were both like so bad and our bridge failed. And I remember our hot science teacher who like you could like see her thong through her pants.
Oh wait, Miss Fernando?
No.
Not the one with the like witches, not Libby McLaren with the like witch
No.
sticker.
She was just like, no. That was like my other car is a broom.
Yeah.
She was just like very, I feel like 33 and like had a bob.
Oh, yeah, she sounds wicked hot. Fuck.
Anyway, I just remember being so lost in the bridge portion. I was like, doesn't compute. I'm sorry, I will never learn how to build a bridge. Like, the bridge is not happening for me.
I do remember loving the bridge project. And me and Ben, my like gay best friend, like built a suspension bridge together. And and it was able to hold a lot of weight.
And it's like, hey, actually, maybe it's okay that girls can't build bridges. Like, what about that?
I would love to see that book where it's someone being just like, yeah, a lot of girls aren't doing bridges and that's fine.
The world doesn't need my bridge.
The book that's girls don't do stuff a lot of the time and that's okay.
It's like, it is accurate that her like...
Well, also, she builds a drawbridge like out of a cereal box, which is a little like, that's not really a bridge that's in use in modern times.
Right. And Bailey is like acting a hoe in the background, like actually about to eat her homework.
Yeah, okay. So then the next man who tells her that she can't do something
is her like funky. Can I also just say, everyone has glasses in this book, and it's very like zenny.com.
This book is an actual secret subliminal advertising for zenny.com for like 7 pairs of $6 glasses that Rashida Jones is pushing.
Yeah, that are like big and like turquoise, but also white.
Wait,
and like
this actually is insane. The neighbor is in glasses. It's crazy. It's glasses propaganda because this gets back to the book being all about just like good students raising their hands. It's like in Elizabeth Warren world, everyone has glasses because everyone's fucking like Poindexter.
Even though Elizabeth Warren is like queen lenscrafters, just like wire, teacher, library.
I feel like she had
they're
frameless
like
in the campaign.
Metal, maybe they're frameless.
In the book, there are frames, but because it's hard to draw frameless glasses in a book. Or at least it's hard for Charlene Chua.
Girls can't draw frameless glasses.
Okay, so her neighbor...
It is so boy, though, that it's like, it does seem that like everyone has probably assigned her this drawbridge, and her like brother's like creepy and having an outburst and being like, all of a sudden, girls can't do that!
Girls can't do glasses!
I hate your glasses! And it's like, you need to go to a specialist.
Okay, so her neighbor tells her that she can't wash the car. It's like, actually, this book is basically about girls trying to do like manual labor. It's just like, that's just like being a plumber, like washing cars. It's just like, maybe she's 7 and she shouldn't be like fixing the sink. and
I
like
know,
going
it's like,
and like
she's
doing a
become a
car wash.
tradesman.
Like maybe
Yeah.
maybe these are like actual skilled trades that take years to learn, and we don't need to be forcing this child to do them for free.
And it's so classist of Elizabeth Warren to be like, yes, 7-year-olds can plumb. Yes, 7-year-olds can car wash. It's like, no, like the people who do them actually have skills, and she's being so Eric Adams and being low-skilled workers about it.
Right. No, I know. It's like Eric Adams back all the way up, Miss Warren. It's like, yeah, why are you trying, like, because she's basically trying to devalue the trade
These
of
jobs.
like of all
Right,
of these
plumbing.
like skilled workers of all these technical jobs.
And plumbing is hard. I wish I was a plumber. They make so much money.
Yeah, they rake it in. Electricians, TV VCR repair. I mean,
HVAC. I mean, I could. It's just the schooling and the technicals. I don't know.
well, again, new year, new you. You're going for jogs. You're dry
going
cleaning
to
couches.
Going to HVAC
I think
school.
HVAC could be next in line because that's what girls do.
Girls do. I also feel like it would be so creepy, male neighbor, to be like, awesome job, like car washing. Car washing is actually so femme because it's so Tampa Bay.
I know, and it's
like
literal
bikini
girls
girl.
invented car washing outside, like in a bikini.
right.
And the more like conservative man you are, the more you would say like, yes, like washing cars outside slowly, like is
hot.
hot
Yeah.
and a woman's purview. Okay, so then her
So
mom,
much hypocrisy.
finally, her mom, seeing that her poor child is being denied the opportunity to like
To
do all
plumb.
this free manual labor, says, I have an idea. There's a giant rally in town. We can go see someone who's running for president.
Just someone.
Giant rally. And you see on the TV in the back, she's like watching MSNBC, and there's a nameless figure at a rally on MSNBC. I wonder who it is.
And I'll just say this, so Elizabeth Warren, which we will go into, is like the quintessential Cambridge mom, Persian rugs, dog hair covered couches, African masks.
What every TV show says like a therapist's office looks like.
Right. Like I grew up in a very Cambridge home. There was a purple suede love seat with different Persian rugs and different wooden sculptures.
Yeah, I mean, the
around.
purple suede is not necessarily that. It was in the context of
No,
her
that
home.
was.
It was more
I guess
in the
my parents
context
being
of
more fab
all of
and
the
gay.
masks and all of the like Joan Baez
Yes.
posters and all of the Persian rugs and like.
There wasn't like Joan Baez posters.
Okay, my parents have a Joan Baez poster is what I'm thinking of,
Okay, right. Yes, they do.
but my parents are not very Cambridge. They're not that funky and worldly, unfortunately. Although now they have all of those like cats from Africa on the piano. I don't know if you've been to my parents' house recently.
I actually haven't.
There's like a extensive small jaguar figurine collection.
That's like replaced the turtles or just kind of in rivalry
No, in
with
addition to the turtles. All the cats are kind of clustered in one area. The turtles own the rest of the house.
Okay, it's a cat zone. Yeah. So I feel like my brown paisley sectional,
Oh, that is Cambridge Mom for
that
sure.
was Cambridge mom.
Yeah. Anything that looks like you could have like whole wheat Cheerios stuck in between the cushions is Cambridge
But it was
Mom.
like chicer on the spectrum of Cambridge mom. But so to my point, the living room in this book is not Cambridge mom. It's much
No,
more like Property
it's
Brothers.
Wayfair. This is a
Yeah.
Wayfair, and they've got the that lamp that has the 3 like rods that like come out in a triangle, and it like weirdly takes up way too much floor space, and you're like, fuck this lamp. It's got that like bar shaped coffee table.
That's like a little Restoration Hardware
It's very
where it's like
Restoration
something
Hardware,
is faux
They've
wood
got
and then like
they got the faux mid-century TV cabinet, but what yet with the floating TV that's just underneath the TV. Okay, so she's got this Wayfair mom who says, let's go see Cambridge mom, Elizabeth Warren, run for president. The rally was big and noisy, and lots of people cheered. At the end, Polly and her mother went up front. The woman smiled at Polly. My name is Elizabeth. I'm running for president. You are? Yes, I want to lead our country. That's what girls
Okay,
do.
your Warren impression is getting a little off.
Okay.
I started off strong. It's gone a little cotton mouth, a little more like Warren with dementia.
It's been a long time
It's
since
like-
I've seen her on.
Okay, let me try mine. It's hi, I'm Elizabeth Warren. Thank you so much for coming to my large rally. I hope it didn't scare you, but don't be scared of large rallies because girls go to large rallies.
Okay, yours is like Ghost Elizabeth Warren. Spooky Warren.
Spooky.
Okay, I think there's also she has this kind of Southern Oklahoma thing to it.
Right, when she gets mad, she's like, that's not nice.
I think he just called me a liar. Remember she said that to Bernie?
Right.
I think he just called me a liar.
That's really accurate.
Okay, so Elizabeth says, that's what girls do. She says the title of the book to the little girl, and they made a pinky promise to remember. So then the little girl has this vision of her running for president. So basically, all these men tell her that she can't be a plumber, and then Elizabeth Warren says, actually, I'm running for president, and so you can too. Here's what's insane about this book. This book was written after she lost. I assume this was written like during the campaign, but she literally
I didn't realize that. I assumed
it was written in 2021. After. So it's just like, you fully lost this campaign and you're just being like, so that's what girls do?
Well, nowhere in the book it says girls can be president. It says they can run for president. Also, by this point, so at the rally, all of a sudden Bailey has gotten like super MAGA and is like in an American flag, like handkerchief. You're like, okay.
I feel like he's
Trump dog.
I think he's like sort of trying to reclaim patriotism in such a Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama way.
Okay, Bailey's being so Bruce Springsteen, yes. Leather jacket, podcast, American flag.
Okay, so then we get to school. Obviously, her school is extremely diverse.
Wheelchairs.
Everyone is like
Lesbians.
Wheelchair, Muslim, lesbian, half Asian, playing cards, autism, like.
And this is where you'll see that there's a poster of a news clipping that says dog eats burrito.
Dog eats burrito. So this really is just full of Easter eggs for like Warren heads.
Yeah, to be like, remember when Bailey ate a burrito?
I just noticed that the mom has a trans pride pin on her purse.
Stop it.
This book is out of control.
No. Wait, she also has a paw print, so it's like you're a trans bear.
Yeah. Wait, this is so that Words of Gertrude's post about the trans cat.
Wait, okay, so it's a cat, two paws.
Two different paws. Yeah, there's a trans paw and then I guess a non-trans paw. So they have.
Well, the paws aren't trans, it's just paws and then a trans flag pin.
Well, I feel like that paw on the right is kind of trans. It's pink and blue.
Okay, yeah. And then the girl, our protagonist, is in a sweater, a hoodie with a
big paw print.
So she's also a bear.
They're all like bears and like dog. There's all this like puppy play going on. They're all like fursuiter adjacent. I mean, this is also what's so crazy about like the sort of Venn diagram between like Denver straight culture, Cambridge mom culture, and like Elizabeth Warren, like hyper overachiever, like annoying girl culture is just like this dog worship and like puppy worship and like projecting about your dog all the time and talking about your dog, and it's always being like, well, Bailey needs to do this and Bailey needs to do that, and like Bailey is sick so I can't go to this, and like, but you know, Bailey needs his leash, and it's like you just put all your anxieties into this already anxious creature and it becomes this like weird foil for your like sad failures.
Wow, drag producer Meg. I mean, I think it's just like anyone who has a dog.
Okay, yeah, well, this is where I'm anti-dog.
If you didn't know already, you know this is a cat pod if you're listening. Meow.
How's that, bitch? Okay, so
Celebrity Book Club.
So then, and then she's like afraid of going to school, and then
because it's a new school,
right.
But her trans bear mom is like, you got this.
She's got this, bitch.
So then it's soccer practice, and Megan
Rapinoe is her fucking coach.
Wait, is it Rapinoe or Rapinoe? I think it's
Rapinoe. Sounds a little Italian to me, and I feel like she's not.
Megan Rapinoe. No,
and
it's
she
Rapinoe.
Looks extremely not Italian. She's giving like Scottish vibes.
Her new school, I guess, is like the dopest school because Megan Rapinoe they hired as
they have
the
U.S. women's soccer team national champion Megan Rapinoe as their like children's intramural soccer coach.
So it's a drawing of
This like purple-haired lesbian with
awesome
two awesome human coach.
purple, like, earrings all up the cartilage, purple hair, spiky, half-shaved head, which again, it's kind of like, so again, if this school has like Megan Rapinoe as the coach.
Something tells me that like they're not telling girls that they like.
And there's RBG dolls like
soccer.
everywhere.
Okay, so the game was tied, and each side got one more kick to score. The coach turned to Polly. I know everyone is watching. Can you do this? Polly stood straight and said, yes, I can be strong, because that's what girls do. And so then she like makes a goal past this like boy goalie. So I'm like, okay, so they're playing like mixed soccer. I mean,
I've actually never played mixed soccer. My
Yeah.
school only had mixed field hockey because we were alternative.
oh, right. And it was like boys
And
in
boys
skirts.
were skirts. Yeah.
Wow, God, your school was so fucking badass and hippie and like Nirvana.
I mean, that's why my school, I guess, again, Cambridge mom, my school, Cambridge School Weston, is the school in this book, I guess.
So then this boy loses his dog, like a non-Bailey dog goes missing, and he's like, can anyone help me? And then she's like, oh my God, I can help you because that's what girls
I
do.
have Bailey, and like, it's like, kind of feels
Girls-
like Bailey finds the dog.
Well, then she makes these flyers. Girls also make flyers, which is true.
Which is girls are so. I guess I assumed he had the flyers and she helped him put it up.
Oh, because he couldn't like reach the pole.
Not that she started like mocking up all these like cool dog flyers.
Well, actually, it says, okay, they give them both. She gave the boy a pinky promise and they worked out a plan to find the missing dog. So I guess the boy and the girl sat down together. They drew up flyer ideas.
they're flirting. This is obviously the love interest. Like, I do feel like the girl in this book is bi or straight. Like, and her mom is a trans bear. Like, I'm getting like straight.
Oh my God, okay, so the
vibes.
next scene in the school, okay, so behind her, there's little like alphabet blocks that spell out BLM. And then next to that, there's the RBG doll. This book is insane. I mean, this is the kind of book that makes conservatives want to ban books.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why it's like
This
RBG
is indoctrination.
in the copy. This is propaganda.
It's insane propaganda, but it's just Liz Warren propaganda.
It's also weird that Lizzie just renames what a pinky swear is in this book.
Oh,
She calls it a pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
It's like,
yeah.
there's actually already a phrase for that, and it's
called
called
pinky
a pinky
swear.
swear.
Well, maybe she thought that swear would be too like
it's too
controversial.
kind of Nazi.
Yeah.
Pinky swear. It's too
Nazi.
cult.
Too culty.
Very proud boyish, a pinky swear.
Yeah, Pinky Promise is totally way more proud girl. So then she runs for class president, and her Muslim teacher is like so proud of her.
And this is the point where you're getting the vibe that you're like, so you're that girl who's new at school and is like making every goal in the soccer team, always raising your hand. It's like, shut
You know,
up.
I mean,
Like,
we all hated this girl, and this girl's so annoying, and she's winning every like random award at assembly that no one cares about, that they're giving away at the end of the year, and they're just being like, the Ethel Williams Science Award
for hardest working, like,
hardest
graph
working
maker.
graph maker goes to this fucking Liz Warren bitch, and everyone's just like, oh, get over yourself.
I never won an award at school.
Wow, okay, I'll put this in the bucket along with you eating like lunch alone at your like,
Yeah.
soccer campus. Like, saddest thing I've ever heard. Oh, okay. So she runs for president, and like all these fireworks go off, and her. Okay, and again, the diversity of this class. There's like a kid wearing like a pride T-shirt and like a blazer. I'm like, why are these kids like mini adults? It's fucking creepy.
So then she's like in her room, she's tucked in, like Bailey number 12 is on her bed. There's 19 trophies all of a sudden. She is
she has a
huge
soccer
goblet.
trophy. She's got this massive chalice. Like,
And then when she's like super snuggling again, and then she has another framed RBG poster, and then she has framed photos of herself doing all the things. Now she like fixed a sink with her uncle and washed a car with her neighbor.
right, and they found Spot, and he wrote her like love interest wrote her a letter, being like with her and Spot, being like, thank you.
Okay, this is giving me a memory though. It's so girls can't do. I feel like at a family reunion, and I was still like had just went to a driving range once and was like 8, and like my like uncles went to go golf, and I feel like I asked my mom like if I could go golfing with them, but obviously they like didn't bring me along because I feel like they probably wanted to actually golf,
Right, and like smoke cigars and like talk shit.
right? And then
not be
I
like,
was
we
so
have
just
to like
like
pretend golf with his child.
right, and then I woke up and I was like, oh man, like I didn't get to golf. And I was so like, I guess girls can't golf.
Girls can't golf. Ah, gee willikers.
Oh man, fine, I'll go play with my cousins in the dirt.
And then you play pickup sticks and jacks.
Pinky promised me next time.
And that's the book. Hugely inspiring
Yeah.
to girls everywhere.
I sobbed.
I mean, here's the thing about Elizabeth Warren. Like, I'll say this. Because I've had a very like long relationship with her. Like, I was so excited by her when she first came onto the scene.
Oh, same on her come up.
On her come up, and I was like, this woman is like speaking truth to power.
Fighting big banks.
You know, and she had like a way of distilling economic ideas into just like really understandable sound bites. And like there was this iconic viral clip of her in like 2011 at some house party where she talks about like why in defense of like the concept of taxes. And like this was a time during the Tea Party, and there was like, you know, all of this like, you know, very sort of nonsensical anti-intellectualism coming from the right. And, you know, I felt like she was a really interesting new voice in the Democratic Party that was rising. I was excited for her to be our senator. And then she, you know, what happens to lots of politicians, she just became such a fucking stale, boring, like afraid, terrified politician. And every choice she made was just like increasingly workshopped and increasingly poll tested. And like she just began to stand for less and less and like say less and less interesting things and like push for less and less, you know, and she just became this shell that was like so easily mockable. And then like, you know, her campaign to me was just like such a disaster.
I guess that is just like what happens with like all politicians, or like also a lot of just like any famous person. It's just like you're cool at first, and then to get bigger, you just have to like dilute yourself to be lame.
I mean, she had her like second book or something, which was like all about, you know, income inequality. I remember she was going to call it Rigged. And then she was like, you know what? That's too harsh. We can't call it that. And then the name got changed to like A Fighter's Fight or something. And it's just like, that is just so emblematic of that decision-making process and why she failed to inspire anyone beyond the Warren moms with teepees in their playrooms.
It's all the consultants, and it gets so Veep, and everyone's telling her. It's actually kind of the reverse of this book, because I'm sure she had a million political consultants being like, you can't call it rigged. And they were like, pinky promise, like, call it a fight.
Somewhere. Someone has to take responsibility. Like, she needs to take responsibility for her choices. It's her book.
And now she's at pinky promises.
I know. And she probably was like, oh, let's call it Pinky Swears, because my papa and I always made Pinky Swears.
And they were like, no, swear is bad. Let's call it Pinky
were just
promises.
like, so swear is actually not going to work, and we're going to need to go with promise.
Pinky segments.
What does she eat? What does she
What
wear?
does she wear? How does she live?
Okay, what does she eat?
What does she eat? I mean, I feel like when she is at home, Cambridge Mom stuff, like I feel like she's salmon, she's stir fry.
Stir fry.
Like I grew up eating so many goddamn tofu, pepper, stir fries.
Yeah. Lot of snap peas. Just like all-purpose teriyaki marinade. She's doing teriyaki salmon for sure.
She feels very teriyaki. In the way that Ina makes like a roast chicken for her husband every Friday, I feel like their Friday is teriyaki salmon.
Yeah.
I also feel like they go to that restaurant in Havett Square, Wild Harvest.
Wait,
It's like
I've
very,
never
like-
been to Wild Harvest.
I went there like once with my parents when they were still together. I wonder if it's still open. It's like 90s fancy, but also like sustainable, I think.
Yeah. So you don't think she's going to like upstairs on the square?
Oh, she's definitely going upstairs on the square.
Okay, which is like kind of a thing. Like, but she was never going to Rialto. Maybe that's like before her time.
No, Rialto in the Charles Hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it's like she's
which
a
has
politician
always
in
been
Cambridge.
Cambridge's like sexiest, like nicest restaurant.
I feel like she's been to all of them because she is just like a politician. And like she's probably been to Rialto, been to like does brunch at the Charles Hotel.
Please chime in, Boston listeners. I actually don't think Elizabeth Warren has ever been to Rialto.
You don't think she's ever been on like a sexy date with her husband to Rialto?
She's like too busy.
Do you think she's like ever been to like Ryle's Jazz Club?
Is that like
because she's going to like
Inman
Washington
or like Central?
Yeah.
You know that Jody Adams, the Rialto chef owner, opened a new restaurant called Trade in Boston.
Oh, Trade.
And I went there with my parents. And it's kind of like Greek. It was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait, Harvest. Okay, it's not Wild Harvest. It's called Harvest. True to Cambridge since 1975. Welcoming mainstay for contemporary New England seasonal dishes and a garden courtyard.
Well, welcoming mainstay for seasonal New England dishes. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. This feels very Warren.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess I wonder, like, not to call her fake, but I'm like, obviously she is Cambridge mom and she defines Cambridge mom. But then I'm like, how Cambridge
she's also a politician is just
because
like...
she's fake. I mean, because she is like, not to step on what does she wear, but she is turtleneck, like with Talbot's like blazer over turtleneck, and she's being so
right. She's not actually in kimonos and beads.
No, she's not being beads. She's not being chopsticks. She's not being like corduroy
Joyce Chen.
dresses.
And I will say this: my mother, kimono wearer herself, like
yes, big kimonos.
I don't think actually the Cambridge moms in Cambridge were that into Warren in this way that it's like,
yeah, it was
some,
well
like,
because yes, because the
too close to home.
Yes, whereas like the my moms, the more like suburban, like Boston Legal Eagles, because Cambridge is really an urban location.
Yes, thank you for saying
but the
that.
more like Newton, Weston, Brookline, they were more into. I mean, I'm sure she won Cambridge, but like.
Yes, absolutely. But I because I thought my mom was going to be obsessed with her, and I feel like she was just like, she's okay.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't. I mean, mom, call me out if you're listening. Like I just don't remember her being.
I don't know, but
so
your mom
obsessed.
has like 6 different RBG masks. Like I feel like
That's true. She
love
like
Elizabeth
my mom.
Warren.
Like kept on being like, oh, my glasses are fogging up, and my sister was like, well, if you wear this like tighter N95, like they won't fog up. And my mom was like, I refuse to take off my like loose RBG mask. So, and then she finally put on a tighter mask and was like, oh, now I can see, and my glasses aren't fogging up.
Tighter
Anyway, so-
masks makes your glasses not fog. Oh, I
yeah,
guess that makes
because
sense
it's
because
the air
isn't.
you're breathing.
Yes.
Like I'm always having so many issues and taking off my glasses and putting them back on. It's a
Wow.
whole thing.
Okay, we're gonna do a whole COVID-19 fashion episode with all of our hot tips for how to dress for the end of the world.
But basically what we're saying is like maybe it's like Warren is also like politician and like burritos. She's also like getting Chipotle and not eating.
Do you think
it.
she totally loves Anna's taqueria?
Like right? Does she even love Anna's? Like is she that local?
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying she's like the fakest one alive, and I'm like, I don't even think she likes Anna's.
No, like she's like, oh, I'll have the brown rice
Because
burrito.
like, remember when she did some like giveaway of like, oh, like win a beer with Elizabeth Warren's husband, or like win a beer with Bailey, or like some horrendous contest, and she was so just like, and you can win a local IPA or non-alcoholic cider with me and Bruce if you choose, and was like already like giving so many options for like her non-alcoholic.
Right, you can have it's a beer because she's like, no, I am an everyday Joe. I'm not Hilary, but like you can also have a like diet ginger ale with me and Bruce.
Oh God, is she so diet ginger ale? I mean, that is kind of also very Cambridge mom to have just like a 24 pack of like diet Dr. Pepper and diet ginger ale in the like basement fridge.
The mudroom that's like so many Ella Bean boots and fleeces.
So let's get into how does she live. I feel like she lives on Avon Hill. Yes?
Yes.
Which is the like fanciest part of Cambridge. For those who don't know, it is like kind of a hill with
Cambridge with really big houses, but they're all like such insane Victorians and kind of funky and like interesting architecture. You know, houses built in fucking 16 Paul Revere time. Yeah, I think we've seen her house. It's heavy wooden table. It's Persian rugs.
I think it's like an old Victorian. I think there's like stained glass windows. Like, I mean, it is a classic Cambridge house. And so it's going to have a lot of character.
Tons of character, like maybe a sunroom in the back with stained glass
she
windows.
lives literally directly in Avon Hill, just like up the street from your house. Like, yeah. So Lily lived at, like, can we just say, Lily lived at the bottom of the hill on the train tracks because she's a miscreant and an urchin. And, like, she would look up at the hill, all the rich folk and their big Elizabeth Warren Victorians, like, having Thanksgiving dinner, and you'd be there, like, with your little tin can shaking.
I'm a
Freezing
condo
cold.
train urchin. My condo did look out onto the train tracks, the commuter rail train tracks. So it wasn't like I was hearing a train rattle Mary Poppins style every 5 minutes. It was more once every 45 minutes.
Yeah, not enough to necessarily, like, incur a lot of sympathy, but definitely bringing down the property value.
Yeah, it very feels my parents would be like, we need to be adjacent to Avon Hill, but, like, we'll be at the bottom and kind of by the train tracks, just as long as we can be close.
Okay, so she is,
she's high bed.
Absolutely high bed, like mahogany furniture everywhere, like marble. I mean, it's a lot of also like mixed patterns. Like, so I think that they have like one wrought iron like chandelier, but then they have like one glass chandelier like in the main like old school parlor element of the house. Like, there's pocket doors. There's a purple wall, like a dark purple wall in one room, like a green purple wall in the other room. Like, it's just sort of general kooky Cambridge mom. Persian rugs everywhere.
And I think it's like there are kookier Cambridge mom houses. I do think they also are like that type of classic like house that has the formal dining room that no one goes into.
Yeah.
That just kind of stays dark. And you're like, this room feels weird.
Yeah. Cold. And I do think that they have a basement with like a big sectional and like the TV.
Oh, I actually don't think so. I don't think there's a finished basement.
You think it's just like unfinished boiler room basement?
I think they have like a den TV room that has like tons of books and New Yorkers and a TV, but the basement I imagine full of recycling and like wine and dog
I agree.
food.
I agree. I take back everything I just said because they're not so like adult.
That's
like,
too
they're not so
chill,
children and they don't have. Yeah, no. I totally agree. The basement is absolutely full of recycling and wine. Elizabeth, recycling and wine, Warren.
Yeah. We dragged her basement to filth.
Okay, what does she wear? Talbot's boots.
Right, like like it's a cardigan with pockets.
I mean, I will say one thing about her that is very authentic. In like,
she's thin.
Well, yes, she's naturally thin, which is huge. But like Bernie Sanders in this way, I feel like she's not a clothes horse like some other, like, because actually that's the thing, like both her suburban mom, like demographic, aka like my mom, like are like obsessed with shopping, and real Cambridge moms, like your mom, are obsessed with like fashion and finds and funky stores and kimonos.
Yeah.
She is not a fashionista, has never cared about clothes ever.
No, and she's not even being so like Hilary, like cuckoo blazer.
Right.
Which is kind of why I feel like our moms liked Hilary even more because she is cuckoo blazer. Yeah,
well, Hillary's also, I think, comes to a slightly different time, but like, you know, it has very been like pilled by the media where she's just like, okay, my outfits always have to like communicate something, and I have to like, this is like a choice I'm making as a woman in politics, and so like I have to wear a strong blazer for a strong event. I have to wear a feminine blazer for a feminine event. Like, whereas Elizabeth Warren is just like, I'm this like just nerdy professor, and I'm just
in this like dusty cardigan from like 20 years ago, Talbot's.
Yeah, and she's
normcore.
Dusted all the way up. Yeah, she's super gorpcore. She's like, yeah, she probably has like Merrill's, honestly, which is cool.
She has Merrill's. She's in like, I feel like even like Bernie is more Patagonia than her. Like she is a little more like Patagorkia or something like that. Like, it's like
excuse me?
It's like an off-brand. Like she's going to the ski warehouse in Newton or something like that and getting like
she's going to some place on Route 9 that's just like sells like ski and golf equipment, and it's just so 80s. I also think she's like, you know what she
discounted jacket.
She's also like walking stick that you buy at EMS.
Yes.
And she's taking that on a walk at the Blue Hills Reservation.
Right, and she's doing you're passing by her, and she is giving you the thing I hate most in the world, the high on a walking trail, the high. Hi. Hello.
I love the high on a walking trail. I love it. It's so fun. You know, it's an acknowledgement that we're all human.
Together.
We're in it together.
Nature.
We're like, hey, fellow, you know, it's like you're not, well, it's also, you know, woods are scary. And it's a way of saying, I'm not a threat.
Yes. No, I get it's beautiful behind it. I guess the angsty teen in me is always like, oh, I don't want to fucking say hi to this weird dad.
Mom, I don't know him. Whatever. Video games. And you know, I love saying hi randomly in like an Australian accent to people on the trail too.
Making the trail.
And just saying, good eye. Because how are they going to know I'm not Australian? And they're going to talk to them again. Okay. Well, I give this book maybe 2 out of 5 pinky promises just for the sheer amount of glasses in it.
Yeah, I am also giving it, I'm kind of actually giving it a 2.7 because I think as a child, I would be tickled by the drawings of Bailey. Like, they're pretty silly.
It's gaslighting children, though. Like, I have just such an issue with it on a moral level. I'm like, you're literally gaslighting children into, like, pretending that, like, all their uncles are telling them they can't be plumbers, and you're trying to make girls believe that they should be doing all this manual labor at age 7, like, because that's
my
empowering.
issue is, like, what if you, like, yeah, less ego in it. It's, like, just made a story about a girl who does things with her, like, Megan Rapinoe soccer coach, and it wasn't about going to see this rally that made you be a
of
plumber.
like a losing presidential candidate that made her believe she could be a plumber and like run for plumber of the year.
In the way that Ricky Martin, I guess, kind of took himself out of his book.
Yeah, but he was that book.
Not
was
that was like such a better book. Like, this is almost like better written. I don't know.
I mean the writing in both. it's not really anything to write home about. Okay, but the thing about the Ricky book is like that book was the dad in that book was a very thinly veiled like foil for Ricky.
Right, so maybe just like why not say?
So why not just say it? Like she's just kind of coming out and I mean, at least she's being honest about her narcissism and just being like, yes, my campaign allowed girls to fix sinks.
Fix sinks. So go off. And I want to know, I would like to know the effect on a small child. I want to hear their reviews.
Yeah, if there have been any large-scale studies done of children
of this book,
and
if there's
promises.
Like now all these like STEM bridge plumbers, car washers.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you
who are
so
you in the
much.
book? Who are you in the book?
Oh my God, who are you in the book?
Oh my God, I almost forgot. Which of the 7 Bailey decoys are you?
Okay. I'm the Bailey, paws up, looking into the school, tongue out.
I'm the Bailey that's in the newspaper for eating a burrito.
Oh, totally.
I'm famous Bailey. Are you Megan Rapinoe?
I know. I guess I'm going to be like, I'm Megan Rapinoe.
I mean, you're really not.
I think I'm maybe like the plumber, being like, I'm the trans plumber.
You're the trans uncle plumber. Being like, get away from me. I mean, you kind of are because he's not doing a very good job plumbing.
Yeah, he's not doing a good job plumbing. And I am
water everywhere and you're fixing a sink with a plunger.
And I'm like famously like awkward with children. And I'm like, I don't need your help. Like, stop calling attention to my bad jobs that I'm doing.
Am I the kid who lost his dog? No, I would never have a dog.
Okay, I feel like you are her like weird brother who's telling her she can't build a bridge.
I am. No, I'm getting weird and like territorial over bridges.
Yeah. I build bridges.
Awesome. Okay, well, we solved that.
Okay, solve that. Thank you, Lizzie.
We will see you in Cambridge.
Come on the pod.
Next week's book is not a book at all. We are going back to our beloved episode series segment Boots, and we will be diving into
How Does She Live? Yeah, so hear us talk more about high beds and low beds and Persian rugs and Wayfair. We might even getting to talk about how I need to deal with my kitchen and the bookshelf that I want to get. That could
Lily's
be
ongoing kitchen renovation. Can girls do it?
Can girls choose shelves?
Can girls choose shelves? Find out next week on Celebrity Book Club, the segment boot series. If you sub our Patreon, we'll see you in the VIP
Kneel
lounge.
down and join us in the VIP lounge.
For only $5 every month. It's literally nothing. You get so many extra segments every month. Constant lounge stuff, always in the lounge. And if you're not in the VIP lounge, sorry, loser. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Best. And we're back. Hello, little subbers. Have you been good this week?
The naughtier you've been, the more we're gonna spank you. Welcome back to the dungeon, you nasty little VIP loungistas. This week we're getting extra naughty because you just heard about a goody two-shoes in politics, but what about the other side of the coin?
Yeah, what about the naughty girls and boys out there who don't make pinky promises?
What about the girls in the beltway who take off their belt?
So, upon reading this book, it made me think about Cambridge Mayor when I was a child, Anthony Galluccio, who would like come to my baseball banquets and like award the like team that won like trophies and stuff like that. And I feel like I shook his hand and I was like, this guy's so cool. And he was like a balding redheaded Italian who wore like boxy pinstripe suits. So I looked him up and I was like, because you'd see signs every there and be like, then Galluccio for senator, Galluccio for councilman. And I was like, what's up with Galluccio? Turns out he resigned from the bar because he got his 4th DUI
And that was just a taste of the VIP lounge. Subscribe on patreon.com/CBCthepod to get more content like that every single week for only $5 a month. Again, that's patreon.com/CBCthepod. For $5 a month, you get access to the VIP lounge every single week. That's more Stephen and Lily every single week for only $5 a month. VIP, subscribe.
Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Projects. The show is produced by a girl who can edit podcasts, and that's amazing. Her name is Meg Murnane, with editorial support from Leon Nayhawk, my adoring husband, and Andrew Parsons, my pupper, and Madeline Kaplan, who's been working for me for 10 years. Our production manager is Persia Verlin. She is a woman who I just met, but I see that she has a big future ahead of her. Original theme song by Stephen Phillips Horst, who I saw play at the Newport Jazz Festival. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips NY. He had the most wonderful exhibit at the MFA in Boston. Follow us on Twitter at CBC The Pod. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And please leave us a review. It will really help our campaign.